Thanks for staying with us on this edition of Vision. Cedric Varner, excited to talk with attorney Tyrone C. Means of Means Gillis Law, LLC. Attorney Means, thanks for coming to be with us again in the studio. Haven't had a chance to talk to you in a while.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate
yes, sir.
the opportunity.
Yes, sir. A lot's been going on since we had a chance to talk last, and maybe we just start with the areas of specialty in your practice.
Well, we do a lot of personal injury and wrongful death cases, and we were pleased to help a couple of families last year resolve a couple of the major cases that we had in our practice, in our inventory, so to speak. It's always pleasing to be able to get somebody a good result and closure when they lose a loved one in a vehicular accident.
Well, one of the things that, you know, when we think about you and your practice is experience, longevity.
Well, both Lewis and I have been practicing for more than 40 years, more than 80 years of collective experience. And that means a lot. You know, we've been around the block not just one time, but, you know, 4 or 5 times, so to speak.
Yes.
And it's easy to recognize issues, to understand how to move a case forward. And not only that, but we've developed a reputation such that we can get a good return for our clients' cases.
Yes, yes. Well, you've definitely established experience. You're mentors in our region for our lawyers. And speaking of experience, I think your partner received a recognition recently.
He was recently inducted to the Hall of Fame with the Alabama Lawyers Association. So that's certainly a nice accolade to include, I guess, in your awards, and certainly it was pleasing to him and to his family to be so recognized.
Yes.
You know, he has a body of work that's rivaled by very few in this state, so it was a good day for him. Well,
we want to say kudos to Attorney Gillis for all the work, and we've got a photo of you guys sitting together. Your kind of official, your official media shot. For those who may not know what he looks like, you know, that's him right there.
All right. All right.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Well, we are just always encouraged by your continuing to fight the good fight of faith on behalf of your clients. You're also a member of the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and
Yes, sir.
Incorporated, and you've got the 50th anniversary, of which one of the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a member of the organization.
That's correct.
And so we're coming up on celebrating the 50th anniversary of his passing.
That's correct. That's correct. We were for 5 years I served as the National General Counsel for the fraternity, and during that time Congress passed legislation that authorized the monument that you see in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And we worked with that from the time that Congress passed the bill up until the time that it was turned over to the National Park Service as an official monument. Of course, it stands as the only monument not only to the only black person that's so recognized, but one of the few that does not recognize a wartime hero. So
Right. Well, we got a shot of that monument. We want to show so our viewers see. So this monument and this establishment is an example of persistence, because this did not happen in 1 year's time.
Well, it was close to 15, 16 years of work, and what you're seeing are pictures that I took at one of the times that we were doing an inspection of the site after the actual memorial was put up with the sculpture of Dr. King.
Yes, and it's a great memorial, and so the Alphas led the charge.
That's correct. That's correct.
What did you say your role was again in relation to that project?
Well, I don't know if I did, but I was National General Counsel to that. As I was ending my term of office, I was carried over and then asked to lead the charge as an attorney for that project until its fruition.
Okay. All right, that's good. Well, we certainly respect all the work that you've put into that. Now, as it relates to your law practice and cases, sometimes you have cases that go a long time.
We do. We do a lot of personal injury work and wrongful death work. Some of them involve, the typical car wrecks, and we do those almost as routine. And we have a pretty good staff that knows how to take it from the beginning to the end. So, that's so to speak some of the least challenging work that we do. But we also do wrongful death work, and when we do it, it may include a defective product or it may include a commercial vehicle. We had 2 cases that resolved this past year. One that we actually took to trial. I was part of a trial team that got approximately $16 million verdict involving a defective cab guard, and that's a guard that you find on 18-wheelers that's right behind the passenger compartment, that's designed to prevent cargo from shifting forward and injuring the occupants of the vehicle. In this instance, the cab guard failed. We proved that they knew that it would likely fail in similar circumstances, and unfortunately, the driver of this vehicle suffered fatal injuries because of that. It was about a 4-year ordeal preparing it for trial, and it tried the early part of last year and ultimately resolved post-verdict.
Okay, all right, real good. Well, so that's the kind of work that you do on behalf of your client.
That's right.
Sometimes it can take years.
And they can get real complex. Another case we resolved is out of Georgia, one of the Atlanta communities there, a somewhat bedroom community that's in a conservative jurisdiction. We prepared that case for trial, and it settled at mediation. And in that case, the judge wrote close to a 40-page opinion on summary judgment, where the defense was trying to move a case out. In this instance, they had an impaired driver, in our view, but they were trying to prove that he was not impaired. But this driver was taking Xanax, Percocet, and Soma, which are all medicines that you ought not take when you're driving a commercial vehicle. He drove that vehicle and for some reason lost consciousness, and in the middle of rush hour traffic veered over into the oncoming lanes and hit our client's vehicle head on, and hit another vehicle as well and injured that person. After years of litigating the issues, proving the impairment properties of the medicines he was taking, and proving that the company knew or should have known that he was an impaired driver, we were ultimately able to prevail.
Good, good. Well, so these are the kind of cases when we say call Attorney Tyrone means, these are the kind of things that they should call you about.
Yeah, well, they're challenging cases, and experience counts in those cases. Being able to stand toe-to-toe with a seasoned defense counsel and with somebody who has a real deep pocket, and able to put up the kinds of experts that you've got to counterbalance, not only with other experts, but also with your expertise and your experience.
Yeah. Well, now speaking of experience, some of our viewers may not be that familiar. They see you on TV because we see your campaigns and promoting the firm. But you originally from Chicago, came down Morehouse.
Yes, sir.
University of Kansas.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be here, and I've been here ever since I started practicing. I practice here. So all of my years of practice would be in the state of Alabama. We've done work throughout the length and breadth of Alabama, but also Georgia. We've handled litigation down in South Florida and in the Panhandle and Mid-Florida. We've handled them in Mississippi, South Carolina, handled even some litigation up in Peoria, Illinois, another commercial vehicle up there.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we want to emphasize. I know how strong the Morehouse affiliation is. So I want to make sure they know that we didn't bypass that.
All right.
You're Morehouse undergrad, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah. So hey, and I remember one of the things you told me. You told me you went to Morehouse. Were you 15? 16?
I was 16.
Yeah.
I was 16. Yeah. but that's a long time ago.
You know, I'm just saying, you know, prodigy. I'm just trying to put that in there.
All
Okay?
right, I hear you. I hear you. Okay.
Okay, so what are the kind of other things that our viewers should call you about when they call Attorney Tyrone Meeks?
Primarily, it's going to be the injury cases. If somebody has been injured seriously, then we want to see if we can help them work their way through the system. It's not always a fair system, and it takes some tenacity, it takes some ingenuity and creativity to move a case forward. And it's that educated hand, I think, that makes a difference. Yeah. You know, one of the first cases we handled when we opened up our practice involved a 18-wheeler where the middle tandem wheels disengaged and rolled over and killed a man who was with his son doing laundry.
Wow.
And we were able to prove in that instance that it was defective maintenance, negligent maintenance that caused that vehicle to have lost its tandem. And we were able to get a significant result for that family early on in our career. And we've done a number of large truck and company vehicle cases. We had an instance where a company vehicle, a local dealership had allowed an employee to drive a vehicle who probably should not have been driving the vehicle, caused a serious injury to a city employee, and we were able to get a significant result for that.
That's excellent. So your goal is to provide justice for your client.
That's right. You know, if negligence occurs, we want them to be well compensated, and we want them to be fairly compensated. So our job is to dot the I's, cross the T's, make sure that we get them every penny that they deserve.
Excellent. Now your office is just about a minute. Your office is downtown on Commerce.
That's correct. We're in the old Union Bank building, for those who've been around for a while, and now it's the BBVA, Compass Bank building. But we're on the second floor there, and we're real pleased with that. It's spacious, a spacious office, and we have 3 conference rooms and enough areas there to accommodate a staff to work comfortably and to help our clients.
Well, I've been there, and it's certainly an excellent facility. Enjoy going there, just up the elevator there on the second level. And so, Attorney Meeks, we've got to go. We want to say thanks for coming to be with us on the program. We want to invite you back. We want to get some more updates on everything that you're doing for our community. And that's going to do it for us on this edition of Visions with Attorney Tyrone C. Meeks. We'll see you next time.